Welcome to What It Takes to Own. Today we're learning about a GT3, and in the chair we have Chase. Chase, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
So tell us about this car that we have behind us. Everybody's been super excited about. I've been excited about it. So what's the car? What's the spec?
Yeah, so it's kind of a GT3, but not really. So this is a 2006 Porsche 911 Carrera 4. And I've put a full GT3 body kit on it. I was gonna get a 911, I wanted a 997. I actually randomly came across the body parts for it long before I bought the car, and I picked them up. I was like, I'm gonna get a 997 at some point and do this to it.
That's awesome. So was the vision of the car, you were like, okay, I could get into a 911. I can't quite get into a GT3, but this is an avenue for me to like scratch that itch of sorts?
Yeah, 100%. So obviously, I mean, it's not a GT3, but it's about as close as I can get. So without, spending another $100,000 on it. One of my favorite things is I feel like this is a car that I would be stoked to see in the wild because I just love like seeing cars out, right? And so that was kind of my goal building. It was something that I would be excited about and something that other people could be excited about too.
Oh yeah, and Porsche is definitely a brand where people are very excited to see those out and about, or like seeing them driving down the freeway. I know my neck always breaks whenever I see like a 911. I'm like, oh, what are they doing over there? But
yeah, 100%. I always saw it, it always annoyed the crap out of me, man, because I'd see these 911s and I'd be like, oh, dope, that's so sick. I'd be in my crappy Corvette or something, right? And then I drive up and the owner is this like angry grandpa that just doesn't want to do anything. He's just like, and you wave at him, you're like thumbs up, and he just, I was like, I do not want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to buck the stereotype a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're breaking the stigma for sure. Like
yeah.
We're here having fun. There's nothing to it,
Yeah, 100%.
I love it. So what was the vision when you were looking for this car? I know you mentioned that you've always wanted to get into a car like this. Mm-hmm. What kind of made this come to life? What really started turning your gears here?
Yeah, so it all started, I was scrolling through Instagram actually, and I saw a comment from this guy, Derek, and he was making fun of somebody's car, and I was like, man, I wonder what he's actually driving, right? And I look in his profile and I'm like, dang, this guy's driving a GT3, this thing's sick. So I start looking a bit more, I follow him, he accepts it, and I'm like, this isn't a real GT3. This is a normal 997. I wonder how much work that takes. And it honestly isn't that much work. It's literally a front bumper, rear bumper, and wing, and you're pretty much there. So I was like, man, how much does that cost? Like, what's the comparison there? Is that something that I could do? Right. That's kind of what started me on that path.
What has been like the most surprising part of owning this car in this endeavor that you've gone on?
I've been surprised how many people like this car. You do get backlash, like especially in like Facebook or like the 997 purist groups. People are angry. They don't love that you've done this to their beautiful 997. But at the end of the day, it's mine. And yeah, I've just enjoyed having a car that feels a lot like a supercar, because that's the eventual goal, is get into something like a Gallardo and then eventually into like a Huracan, Aventador, just keep building up like that. But for now, this is about as supercar as I can get.
So what's been your favorite part of owning this car?
I gotta say, just building it. Because I got it and I was like, this is cool, but it was silver. It was like really boring base spec, pretty boring to drive. The shifts were like plasticky as all get out. And then just every little mod that I've done has just made it into like, oh, that much better of a car, that much better of a car. Oh, now it sounds good, And that's just been like kind of new for me. I've always bought cars that I've enjoyed kind of in their stock form. And this one I didn't love in its stock form, but now I really love it.
Now that we know the best parts of owning it, what have been like some of the pain points, frustrations with owning it? I'm sure there's a lot that goes into modding and kind of restoring a car. So kind of tell us about that story.
Yeah, 100%. It's really slow. Like it looks really fast, but it's 325 horsepower at the crank. And then it's all-wheel drive, so it loses a ton of power in the driveline. So you really, like, it looks great, it sounds great, it feels pretty quick, but it's not actually that fast. So that's kind of something that I'd like to change eventually. Eventual goal for this, if I keep it long enough, would be to LS swap it, which would be, I'm sure, hated by everybody, but it'd be a fun project for me.
Absolutely.
And then I'd get the power that desperately needs.
So when you say it's slow, like, have you done any sort of like timing, or have you like raced other people on the streets?
Yeah.
This isn't legally binding.
Not on the streets,
Yes,
you know.
in a sanctioned, safe environment.
Mexico.
Exactly.
There was a Mazda 3 that pulled up next to me, and he was like, let's gun it at the light. I was like, sure, why not? This was before I'd really done anything, so it was like stock exhaust, stock everything.
Yeah.
It was like, he beat me. And I was like, dang, that's just like a Mazda 3.
Yeah. So you've been on this journey for like 5 months now. If you had to go back, would you pursue this endeavor again? Would you buy this same car? Would you go through all these mods and these builds?
Yeah, a million times over, man. I mean, this car has been so much fun for me. I mean, I started the Instagram with it, and I, started building a first car, and it's not been that hard because it's not broken that much. A couple times, right? And there's that maintenance, but overall, like I couldn't be more happy with this thing, and I think it punches way above its weight class, honestly.
For sure, especially with the styling. Like it definitely looks premium. It looks like it's a GT3.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you don't mind me asking, how much have you put into the car with all the mods and everything done to it?
Totally. I'm pretty deep into it. I'd say we're like $22,000 to $23,000. Main mods, I mean, yeah, body-wise, I've put quite a bit into it, and then maintenance, I think I'm $5,000 or $6,000 into it. Okay. Just oil changes, all the fluids, doing the shifter, which I don't know if you count that as a mod or maintenance.
That's something that definitely has caught me off guard as I've gotten into exotic ownership. Is people warn me like, oh, it's more expensive to do things just like an oil change, and I was like, oh, sure, whatever. Right. And then I go take my first oil change for my Aston, and it's like $1,000, $2,000 or something. Yeah. And I was like
wait,
like, this is supposed to be a fun. I don't understand. But yeah, like those things will definitely creep up on you, and I'm sure with all of the modifications and extracurriculars and things like that, it really adds up quick.
It really does, yeah. I was working, so I work every summer, and while I was working, I didn't really have time to do my own oil change, but I just got the car, and I was like, I should really just do an oil change just to be sure. So I took it to a dealer, took it to a independent shop. Yeah. Whoo! They charge a ton of money. It was like $950. Yeah. Like, man, this is an oil change. What's going on? Yeah.
I don't know what your last car was before that, but I have a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
It's just like the lowest maintenance car of all time. And it's like $50 to get an oil change. Yeah. And then I go change an oil in my Aston, and I'm miserable.
It's insane.
So bad. It's the life we choose, though,
Yeah, and that's you kind of have to budget for it. You have to plan for it breaking, you have to plan for maintenance, all that, and then you can kind of mitigate the costs a little bit. I try to do most of my own work. Almost all of it. The wrap and the oil change is all that anybody else has ever done, and that helps, but parts prices still, it's brutal.
What have you done for your career and your work to be able to get into ownership of something like this?
Yeah, so I've always been pretty entrepreneurial, and you always get those questions that's like, man, is this your car, your dad's car? People yelling at you like...
Especially being young. Like,
yeah.
I get the same thing where I drive my car somewhere and they're like, oh, is this your car?
Right, exactly. Getting those questions, you feel a little flattered because it's like, yeah, no, I bought this on my own, and thank you. But I started out, I did my own lawn maintenance business in high school, always kind of the goal of owning something like this. And for me, it was all about sacrifices. So it was choosing not to do some of the things my friends were doing. I don't really go on vacations. I don't really do trips. I try to just focus on building money towards cars. And that's because that's kind of my passion. So I work in the door-to-door sales industry, which is, solar, pest control, alarm systems. It's the people that you don't want at your door. We go and we just go door to door. You knock in a neighborhood, you're assigned a little neighborhood, getting rid of the pests, getting rid of the bugs. That's the specific one that I work in, is pest control. So it's front-facing sales. Yeah. So instead of them getting a lead from Instagram or from Facebook or from TV or radio, we're actually going to the customer at their door, and then they're saying, yeah, I'll take that pest control, and then we get a cut of that. So commissions are very high for that because it's just, there's no risk for the company. They're only paying you once they get paid, and so they can pay you a lot more.
How did you get into that industry?
Yeah, so my uncle actually works in that industry, and he has for many, many years. And always growing up, I was like, yeah, I could do this as soon as I go to college. I got to pay for college somehow, right? And
You got to pay for the fun cars.
got to pay for the fun car somehow, right? And so I just hit up my uncle and he's like, yeah, come on out.
What have been the hardest challenges that you faced in that career of sales and generating revenue and things like that?
Yeah, there's a ton of burnout. So it's a pretty hated job, I'd say, just because it's annoying. You know, like I can get it as a homeowner. If someone rings on the door, you're like, oh, I wonder if it's a friend. I wonder if someone's coming over. And then you go and it's some salesperson, you know, you might not be too happy. And so you do get yelled at a ton. You get a lot of angry people at the doors. But as long as you're nice, it's not too bad of a job. There's a lot of burnout because it's a pretty intense job. You work pretty long hours during the summer, but it's nice because during the rest of the year, you don't have to work at all.
For sure. A lot of gives and takes in that industry, for sure. Like, I know a lot of people that have worked in that space do love the balance of being able to work for 4 or 5 months out of the year and then just having their free time, or being able to be home and do whatever they want in the off season, they call it. So it's definitely an interesting industry. For people that are on the outside of things, I feel like it's kind of hard to explain what the lifestyle is.
It feels a lot like a Ponzi scheme. It's like, oh, you're going for 4 months and you're making the whole year's salary. How? You know, a little skeptical.
Absolutely. What were some of the key decisions and sacrifices that you had to make in order to reach the level where you could get into a car like this?
That's a really good question. I think that main one, we kind of mentioned it earlier, was just like some of the vacations, some of the free time that a lot of my friends enjoyed, I've skipped. And I've decided, hey, instead of that, I'm going to work, or I'm going to work towards something. And I think that's the main thing. It's all about sacrifice. It's all about priorities. Pretty much anybody could have this car, right? This is like a $55,000, $60,000 car. And so you look at a brand new Camry or brand new, nicer car, you know, a BMW 330, that's the same price as this. And so choosing kind of where you pick and where you put your money, and then what you're actually going to do with it.
What your priorities are.
Yeah, what your priorities are.
Yeah. So what do you appreciate most about your job and the line of work that you're in?
I like the flexibility, and I like that I dictate my salary. So, you know, there is limitations, there is an upper limit, but I have friends who are making, you know, $1 million a year doing the same industry as me. And it's pretty encouraging to think that if I worked harder, if I learned my craft a little better, I could be at that level.
Yeah. And a lot of these companies as well in this industry don't have earning caps.
Yeah.
So if somebody is very talented, or they have the know-how or the capacity to go out and really master their craft, there's really no cap on what they can make on a sales position. And that's something I really admire about that industry.
Yeah, and it really is a bulk industry as well, because the more doors you knock, the more likely that you have a sale. And so if you can do more doors without burning out, you will get more money.
It's amazing. So what does success look like on a day-to-day basis with your work?
With my work, I think it's putting in the hours, because you're going to have some days, there's like the law of averages, especially in sales. You're going to have some days where it's like, man, I only did 2 or 3 sales today. That's not that good. And then you're going to have other days where you're like, man, I put down 10. That was a great day. I'm going home. I'm happy. But you can't let yourself get discouraged, and you can't let yourself get overly confident. So just having that success every day of like, I went out, I worked the hours, I knocked the doors, I didn't stop. That's all.
Well, Chase, I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you bringing GT3-ish with you. I would love it if you could give 30 seconds of guidance, wisdom, insight to our audience, something that they can walk away with.
Absolutely. I would just say real quick, just to lock in, you know, don't get distracted. If you have a goal, push for it, and really just don't stop. You're going to have a lot of people laughing at you. You're going to have a lot of people that say, hey, don't do that, do this. At the end of the day, it's your life. You need to live it, and you need to live it exactly how you want to. This is all available to anybody who works hard, and you can do it too.
This has been What It Takes to Own. This is Chase and his GT3-ish, and now you know what it takes to own. Chase, where can they find you? Where can they keep progress with all the updates with the car and the cars to come?
Yeah, I'm that_fake_GT3 on pretty much every social. Mostly on Instagram, but I have a TikTok and a YouTube too.
Amazing. Until we see it again. How do you feel to be the first person on the chair?
Feels good.